Screening Room. I'm Scout Mayer.
I'm Aamar Mian.
And I'm Ashley Wasson. And from Growing Pains to Jay Gatsby, this week we'll be talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. Stay tuned.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. The 1996 reimagining of the classic tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, a story of two young lovers from rival families, set in a modern California-feeling town, and it is filled with action, violence, and love at first sight. This film lives up to the Bard's 2 hours traffic of the stage, and that's about it. Let's take a look.
Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night. In fair Verona, where we lay our scene, two households, both alike in dignity.
Throw your mistempered weapons to the ground!
From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life.
Who is it that you love?
Gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, renounce it faithfully.
My heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet.
Romeo! Thou art a villain! Turn and draw! Turn and draw!
Romeo's no kibbles! Romeo must not live!
My only love sprung from my only hate.
Romeo is banished!
See thee, they will murder thee.
Let them find me here. A plague! Approach your houses! I am fortune's fool! Leonardo Dicaprio, Claire Danes, in William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
Good night. Good night.
Well, in my opinion, Shakespeare lends itself fairly well to modern interpretations, but in my personal opinion, the liberties taken by this film butcher the classic tragedy for fans of Shakespeare, and it fails to capture the attention of non-fans. In my opinion, it's a good, bad film to have a laugh at, and if you want good Shakespeare, I would suggest checking out David Tennant in Hamlet with Sir Patrick Stewart. What did you guys think of the movie?
I mean, I'm all for the idea of Leonardo being Romeo. I just wasn't all about the setting and kind of like the modern day things going on with the Shakespearean.
It did feel a bit too busy at times.
Right, yeah. It's definitely more of like a busy, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's some funky costumes. So, I mean, it's definitely not my favorite, but like I said, I am all about the whole Leo being Romeo, so.
I guess I disagree. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I guess, again, like, Romeo is great. Who wouldn't want Leonardo as your Romeo? He's perfect for it. But overall, I thought I did a pretty good job capturing it. It may not be exactly as Shakespeare's original Romeo and Juliet, but I mean, it's brought to modern times, and I think that they did a decent job of bringing it back.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it definitely does, like, it gets the story across. I would just say, like, the plot and the setting isn't exactly my favorite.
Yeah. One of the big problems that I had with this particular movie was the inability for the leads to kind of command the language, and that's difficult with Shakespeare because it's so outdated to our modern
Right.
ears. And Leo and Claire Danes, the actress who plays Juliet, they don't really seem to have the chops for Shakespeare in this time. They don't really command the classical verse that is so stressed by this film. The only actor who seems to do that is Peter Postlethwaite, who plays Friar Lawrence in the film, and he's the only actor. He's a classically trained British actor, so already right there you've got a lot of experience, and he just really commands the camera as Friar Lawrence.
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure it was hard, too, for Leo being, I mean, he was young, so that also has a part. Who knows, he probably didn't even have Shakespeare in school yet to know, what it was all about at the time of casting, so.
And I thought they all did a decent job. I mean, they were both really young, him and Claire Danes, and the actor who played Friar, but Paul Rudd, he was just amazing. I think he stole the entire spotlight in this movie with his dancing skills. You can see him in the trailer. He was dressed as an astronaut for this costume party. Paul Rudd, what can I say? He's great.
The Paul Rudd character does feel very honest and sweet and endearing, which is interesting for Paris. But I also really enjoyed John Leguizamo's incredibly flamboyant portrayal of Tybalt, the gangster fashionista that he portrays.
Yeah, and like I said, you're taking like a complete different, era in time, like to put Tybalt as like a gangster fashionista, like you said. It's completely different from Shakespeare, but I think it definitely worked for his part as an actor. So.
Yeah. And I also thoroughly enjoyed the cross-dressing Mercutio. I thought that was a really interesting twist, and I thought that was really well done.
That's great, yeah.
A couple things I had too is that, I mean, Leo doesn't win a ton of awards or as many as it should, but he did win Best Kiss for MTV Awards for that, so.
Well deserved. And speaking of kisses, let's take a look at these perfect pets who just want to give you some kisses.
Meet Fluffle, a 7-year-old loving and adorable cat, both inside and out. Her unique color and well-behaved personality make her the perfect pet to any family. Patty is a young coonhound who is a very beautiful and outgoing, affectionate young lady who would love to lean on you for some petting. This is Eli. If his handsome and unique markings don't convince you, then his personality sure will. Kaiser is a 3-year-old pit bull. Aww, just look at him smile. He is a strong boy who is in need of some training and exercise. To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Again, the number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. Up next, we have my movie, classic romance movie, Titanic. It starts off with Brock Lovett and his treasure hunters who are searching the Titanic for the heart of the ocean. However, instead of finding the heart of the ocean, they end up finding this drawing of Rose when she was young and on the Titanic. They bring Rose onto the ship, who is the same one in that drawing, and she takes them back on a journey to 1912. Rose, her mother, and Cal, her despicable fiancé, are boarding the Titanic. Meanwhile, you have Jack, who is off winning his tickets to enter the Titanic. Later that night, Rose and Jack meet when Rose is over the side of the boat trying to commit suicide. Jack talks her out of it and helps her on the other side. However, she ends up slipping. And as Jack mentions, he grew up in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and the water is freezing. It feels like daggers when you hit it. Jack is trying his best to pull her up, and he does succeed. They end up falling in love and have a whirlwind romance while on the ship. There is a crazy chase scene where Cal's bodyguard is chasing the both of them, and they end up on the deck of the ship. On the deck of the ship, they are witnessing the Titanic and iceberg colliding. Will this change how they end their romance? Will they be able to survive the sinking of the Titanic? Well, before I give too much away and we give away any spoilers, let's check out this trailer.
Take a journey back in time in search of a mystery locked beneath the sea. This January, you will be given the key.
We're going to America.
Oh, forget it, Boyle. You'll never get next to the likes of her.
Don't come any closer. Oh, let go.
No, you won't.
You are not to see that boy again.
I'm the king of the world!
What made you think you could put your hands on my fiancée?
It's not up to you to save me, Jack.
He's got you trapped. If you don't break free, you're gonna die. It's a ship. There's only so many places she can be. Find her. Iceberg! Right ahead! All away!
The water is freezing and there aren't enough boats. Half the people on the ship are going to die.
For God's sake, there's women and children down here! Let us out so we can have a chance!
Where are you going? To him!
You jump, I jump, right?
I hope you enjoy your time together!
And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death.
God almighty.
This is it!
Titanic. Overall, a great romantical movie. Starring young Leonardo Dicaprio and a young Kate Winslet. They have the perfect chemistry together in this movie as they star as Jack and Rose. And it was also directed by the one James Cameron. What did you guys think of this movie?
I mean, when I think of Leonardo, I think I automatically Titanic comes to mind. I definitely love, the young Leo movies. I think it definitely has that, perfect love story. I mean, I guess it's not perfect in the end, but it's one of those things that everybody wishes that they had at one point. The story's really great. I also love how, the Celine Dion song, when I hear it, that's what I think of, is that scene of the Titanic. But
Actually, with the Celine Dion song, too, I heard James Cameron originally wanted Enya instead of Celine Dion to have the song.
That would have been a very different feel.
Yeah, he actually, I guess, just didn't like Celine Dion's song for it, which Celine Dion has also said that's just been overplayed and overused now that she's even a little sick of it, which, I mean, it's a good song, but it gets a little too much sometimes.
I think we've gone from a classic romance in an overall sort of centuries sense to a classic love story in a modern sense, and I think the Titanic is definitely now a classic romance film for our generation and for our time. It's a very well done film. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they just overall did a great job. I mean, 1997 with all the technological advances that we've had, I think it still lives up to standards today.
And the
For that
effects
time,
are,
it was
effects are pretty good.
yeah, for it being done that while back, I thought they did a great job with that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things that James Cameron does is definitely, his cinematography. I know with Avatar, he couldn't even like make the movie because what he needed as far as technology hadn't even been invented yet. So, I mean, he's far ahead of the times, and he did a great job with the directing and, the whole visual effects and everything. So.
Yeah, amazing job. And Kate Winslet, Leonardo DiCaprio, just great chemistry together. I mean,
Well, who doesn't love a young Leo film?
No,
yeah.
exactly.
And they've just been friends for such a long time now. I think it's great. But let's check out some more Perfect Pets, and we'll be right back with Ashley's movie after this.
Meet Fluffle, a 7-year-old loving and adorable cat, both inside and out. Her unique color and well-behaved personality make her the perfect pet to any family. Patty is a young coonhound who is a very beautiful and outgoing, affectionate young lady who would love to lean on you for some petting. This is Eli. If his handsome and unique markings don't convince you, then his personality sure will. Kaiser is a 3-year-old pit bull. Aww, just look at him smile. He is a strong boy who is in need of some training and exercise. To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Once again, the number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. Dreams feel real while we're in them. It is only when we wake up that we realize that something was actually strange. Leonardo DiCaprio deals with this feeling of reality in comparison to real life in dreams many times in the movie Inception. In this high-action sci-fi thriller, Leonardo plays a thief, Dominic Cobb, who is also hiding outside of the country and away from his 2 children for being accused of murdering his wife. However, Cobb is not just your everyday thief. He steals secrets from people's subconscious by the use of dream-sharing technology. He is offered the chance to get his life back as a payment for a job that is seen as nearly impossible, Inception. Cobb and a highly skilled team have to try to attempt this Inception and implant an idea into the mind of his employer's subconscious to sell his father's empire. They attempt this Inception on a flight from Sydney, Australia to Los Angeles, California. And not only are they going inside of somebody's dream, but they are going inside of a dream, inside of a dream, inside of a dream. But don't let me spoil it for you. Let's go to the trailer.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You're talking about dreams.
Mr. Cobb has a job offer he would like to discuss with you.
Like a work placement?
Not exactly.
We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal.
It's called Inception. Already. I think I found a way home.
And this last job, that's how I get there.
Dreams feel real while we're in them. It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange.
This was your responsibility. You're not prepared for this.
person. I have it under control. I'd hate to see out of control.
And like I said, in sci-fi thriller, it has to do with the really intense idea of stealing information out of people's subconscious and implanting ideas into that subconscious. So what do you two think about the movie?
Overall, I really liked it. I thought it was complex, but you still were able to understand it. It wasn't too hard to understand, but it still had that complexity of like. Also, the great actors. I think they had like Michael Caine, Leonardo Dicaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. In my book, he is destined to be one of the greats. But I just thought they had a whole few generations of just those great actors too in it.
This is definitely one of my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movies recently. And at times it does kind of feel a little bit Matrix-y, but I thought it was really well done. I thought the special effects were fantastic. And just the overall story of it was really, really engaging. And I felt like I had to watch it at least 2 or 3 times, which for me, that's how I know I've stumbled across a good movie, is if I want to watch it again and I want to get everything that I can out of it. So I felt like it really did a good job with that. And also, as you said, the cast was incredible, and the special effects were incredible. My favorite scene, I think, is when they're in the hotel and it goes 0G. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I love that scene where it goes 0G. Another one is when they're in Paris and she's in the dream with him when she's first kind of getting trained in, and she just tips the whole city like upside down like that, and then just walks up it. I always just really love that.
I agree too with the fact that you said you have to watch it more than one time. I've definitely watched it more than one time to try to understand everything, and I feel like I still, every time I watch it, get something new out of it. And also one of the big things that gets me is the ending, the big, kind of cliffhanger ending. What do you guys think happens at the end?
That's a tough one.
I would say I just go for the optimism of his character and that he ends up back with his wife and kids happily again. That's just my hope for him, I guess.
And for you, what are you thinking?
For me, it seems like that little twitch at the end might suggest that he's back in a dream.
See, I agree with you as well. I think, he spins his top to try to figure out if he's in a dream or not. But what I see as it, like I see his kids in the same clothes as he's seen them in the dream. So I don't think that he's quite awake yet. But he hasn't got like an Academy Award for Inception, but he did get an MTV nomination for Best Jaw-Dropping Moment for Inception. And I'm sure there was quite a few of them in there to choose from.
Yeah.
So,
that's just one thing about Leonardo DiCaprio. Why isn't he getting any awards for these movies? I mean, Titanic, come on. He should have gotten one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, The Great Gatsby was another movie of his that it wasn't my favorite. I think I prefer the original Great Gatsby to that one. But again, he still did pretty good in that. I thought, I don't know. It's that whole thing where he just ends up dead in the water without an award. Let's face it, that's just his legacy that he's going to have.
Right, I agree. I know he has been nominated for 5 Academy Awards, but he hasn't won any.
Yeah.
Titanic was one, The Aviator was one, Wolf of Wall Street was one, which that's really not one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. The Aviator, actually, that surprises me. That was a really well done, well done movie.
Right, and I mean, he's had so many well-done, well-acted movies that he hasn't gotten anything for. I mean, he's gotten a couple Golden Globes, he's gotten MTV Awards, things like that, but none of the big, like, Academy Awards, so. What about other Leo movies?
Well, as we said, The Aviator was also, in my opinion, I really liked that movie a lot. I don't know, Shutter Island was also a really good one. That's another one of those I had to watch it a few times just to kind of figure out what was actually happening.
Yeah, and it has that kind of like cliffhanger ending too, where you don't exactly know, is he, which person is, what short end of the story is actually real. So that's really interesting to me. How about you?
Going to throwback, What's Eating Gilbert Grape with Johnny Depp. I thought he was really good in that for how young he was. I mean, Johnny Depp was, of course, phenomenal in it as well, but I just thought that was kind of his maybe breakthrough one almost for film. Just a really good one that he had done.
It seems like everything that he's in is generally really well acted, including Romeo and Juliet. I mean, as much as I dislike the movie, I also do kind of really like it.
Right,
for,
it's like
for
a
its
secret.
own special reasons.
Yeah.
But he was phenomenal in that. And he's phenomenal in everything that I've ever seen him in. So.
I know one of my other favorites that also was nominated for an Academy Award is Blood Diamond. And not only did he do, I mean, he does everything from, British accents to being from Wisconsin to being, in like Slave Era in 12 Years a Slave or Django Unchained. But Blood Diamond, I think not only did he act really well in, but he also it got a good message across and kind of exposed people to the truth of what's happening as far as the blood diamonds go.
Catch Me If You Can. That's another good one.
I know, I haven't seen that in a very long time.
Not only that though, Leonardo Dicaprio as a person is just amazing. He gives so much. He's very active with the is it WWF, the World
Wildlife
Foundation. I know he's very active in that, and overall he's an amazing guy, actor and a person.
And can we talk about the fact that he also hasn't aged since 16, 17?
No,
so
he is he's gorgeous still. I'm sorry, but looking at him, it's the same as it was from Jay Gatsby, like you said, back to Titanic when they're doing the toast, and he's just facing them. He looks exactly the same to me.
He's timeless in his own.
He's aged very well.
Oh, definitely. I agree.
All right, let's talk about what's in theaters near you. So, Cinderella, Insurgent, The Gunman, The Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, and Run All Night. I'm really actually looking forward to Cinderella. How about you guys?
I saw Cinderella, and I actually really did like it. I didn't really plan on going to it. It was a last-minute thing, but it was really well done.
Yeah, I'm planning on going to see it soon, so it just looks really good. I heard it got really good reviews, too.
I'm also kind of curious about Run All Night. Is that the new Liam Neeson film?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes. I did also see Insurgent, and I liked it. I'm just a little, I haven't read the book in so long that I can't remember, the differences between, the book and the movie. So I'm going to have to reread that, but the movie was done really well.
Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, I heard that had some good reviews. Coming soon to theaters, we have Get Hard, A Girl Like Her, Man from Reno, and Serena.
I'm really excited about Serena. It has Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, and I love them in Silver Linings Playbook, so I'm super excited to see them together again.
Get Hard should be pretty funny. Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell.
Yeah, that seems like it would be a good combination. They seem to have good chemistry from what I've
Yeah,
seen.
good duo to have in a movie.
Yeah, definitely. And then now on DVD, we have Dumb and Dumber 2, Annie, Into the Woods, and Birdman.
Into the Woods I saw in theaters, and I really liked it. I thought that they did a good job. I've seen the actual show that they did, the musical, in theater, and I thought that they did a really good job. And they had a star-studded cast, too, as well, with that.
Meryl Streep.
Johnny Depp,
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Birdman was, I'm sorry
Oh, no, you're fine.
about that. Birdman was probably one of my favorite movies of this year. It was hands down. I totally agree that it won, it deserved Best Picture and won.
Right.
And at the Rivoli, we had The Hobbit, Battle of Five Armies, Whiplash, Paddington, and Big Hero 6.
I'm actually really excited about seeing Big Hero 6. I want to go to the Riv this week and see it, but we'll see.
This year was really, really good for movies.
Oh, absolutely.
Whiplash, which was just on the screen there. Whiplash was a really well done film about about a jazz drummer, and I thought it was incredible.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to tune in on Thursday for our week in review.